With the release of Arknights Endfield just a few days away, we're gonna need to talk about the first 3 limited banners. Are they worth pulling for? How good are they? And are they even future-proofed? Since I saw a lot of people misunderstanding or just confused by the gacha system, we will also have a close look at that. I will post lots of Arknights Endfield content, so a follow is appreciated. But let's go right into it. Now let's make the gacha system clear. You have an 80 pity counter, a 65 soft pity, you have a 120 spark counter, so you're guaranteed, and you also have a 240 spark dupe counter, another guaranteed dupe of the featured character. Now what will carry over to different banners? The only thing that will carry over is your 80 pity counter. So let's say you have 40 pity at the first limited banner, you also have 40 pity at the second limited banner. But your spark counters will not carry over, not the 120, and also the 240 spark dupe counter will not go over different banners, they will always get resetted. Now for the characters. You have 1 limited featured character and 2 limited characters that you can also pull in that banner. Let's take Laevatain as an example. She is the first featured limited character, and she will also be present in the second banner and the third banner, and after the third banner she will be removed and you cannot pull her anymore. For the raids, I'm pretty sure the non-featured limited characters have an around 16% chance, 54 of the featured one, and the rest, I think it's like 35 or something, for the standard characters. Now let's talk about if you pull on a banner, after your 30th pull, you get a free 10 pull that will not count towards the pity. If you pull 60 times, you will get a free 10 pull for the next banner that will count towards pity. If you pull a 6-star character, if it's a limited one, your pity goes to 0. And if you pull 80 times and you won the 50-50, your limited guarantee pity is now at 80 to 240 because you already won the first spark, let's just say. So your first spark at 120 is gone and your next guaranteed is at 240. And if you lost obviously the 50-50, your pity goes to 0. And if you needed to pull 120 times, you will have a guaranteed by now, since you will have the spark activated, and then your pity is at 40, which means you only need 40 rolls for another 50-50. And if you pull a dupe after 120 pulls, your dupe spark counter will not get reset. Even if you win from previous rolls, you still are guaranteed to get a dupe on your 240th pull. Let's go over the weapon gacha. For the raids, a 6-star weapon has a 4% chance, and for the 5-star it has 15%. Every 4 multis you are guaranteed a 6-star weapon. It's a 25 to 75% chance, and it does not carry over to the next banner. Every 10 pulls you will get a 5-star weapon. At 80 pulls you are guaranteed the raid up weapons, or one of them if there are multiple 6 stars in raid up, and it is only once per banner and does not carry over to the next banner. A 10 pull will cost 2,980 tickets, and for the ticket shop, rolling for a character will give you Arsenal tickets. If the character is a 6-star, you will get 1,500 tickets. For 5-star, you will get 500, and for 4-star, you will get 50 tickets. Arsenal tickets can be used to buy weapons in the shop or pull weapon gacha. You can also convert Orabelli into Arsenal tickets, 30 Orabelli for 10 tickets. That is pretty much the gacha system for character and weapons. If I missed something or forgot something to mention, please let me know in the comments. That out of the way, let's finally go over the first 3 limited characters in Arknights Endfield. The first character will be Laevatain or Laevatain, I'm not sure how you pronounce her name. She is our fire main DPS character and currently the only one. She applies with her team heat infliction, and then she will absorb it to build up melting flames up to 4 stacks. This lets her ignore up to 20% heat rest for 20 seconds and use her enhanced skill to deal massive damage. She's also a great AoE DPS, and despite being good at AoE content, she doesn't fall too much behind in single target damage, what makes her a great fire DPS character. And how future-proofed is she? I would personally say she will be relevant for a long time, since if they decide to release a single target fire DPS, she will still be a really good AoE option, and also her DPS is not too bad if we're talking about single target damage. And also the next characters aren't probably heat or fire, since for example electric doesn't have a 6-star yet, so I would say she is a good pickup, especially if you want to reroll for her. The next character is Yvonne. She is an ice main DPS. She applies cryo infliction and gains energy to cast her ultimate, which boosts her basic attack damage, especially the final strike. She also has a built-in crit rate and can critically stack energy on critical hits. Back in CBT3, so the last beta, her damage ceiling was one of the highest thanks to her crit scaling in the early game. But do keep in mind, her kit has been changed from CBT3 to live servers, so her teammates might be different, but she still probably is a main DPS, so keep that in mind. Now, how future-proofed is Yvonne? I would personally say she's a bit worse than Laevatain, since just from a value perspective, you already have an cryo DPS, and I know a lot of the times Last Ride and Yvonne are in the same team, or at least it is a good team, but if you has Last Ride, you could also think about getting a different character, since you already have a really good ice DPS, even though Last Ride is probably being nerfed for the live servers. Despite all that, Yvonne is still a great character to have, but her value is a bit less than the first character, since we already have Last Ride and she is a really good cryo DPS, but she is still a good DPS, especially if you don't have Last Ride. But if you have Last Ride, you could maybe go for a wider roster, especially as free to play. Now let's go over the last banner of this video, and that is Gilberta. She serves as a nature support with some minor sustain. She has a universal lift up, applies debuffs like slow and adds susceptibility, and increases team-wide ultimate gain efficiency up to 7%. If you compare her to Ardelia, the free 6-star healer we will get, she heals a little less and deals slightly lower single target damage than her, but she definitely brings way more utility overall, especially with the universal ultimate gain efficiency. She is a great nature support character and might even be stronger if the nature DPS is really strong, but we don't know yet. And that brings the question, how future-proofed is Gilberta? And she's probably the most future-proofed in this video. Why, you may ask? Since she is a support character with nature element, she will be the core support character for nature teams, and you can probably also play her in other teams just because her universal utility is really strong, and that makes her a great character for the future. But if you pull for her, obviously you probably should pull for the next nature DPS. Now, just as an overall opinion, Laevatain, or just the first banner, is usually the best banner, or just the most valuable one, because it is simply the first one, and that banner will give the most unit diversity to build a team for your account. And so that you know, Arkngihts Endfield is really heavy on the team building part, so you should know how to build a team. And unless you are an experienced player who can manage with only 3 units, I do recommend to pull at least one of those 3 for a smoother early game experience. And of course, Laevatain and Yvonne fit on different teams, so there's no conflict, just choose the DPS element you prefer. And for Gilberta, she is aimed at future nature DPS that hasn't been released yet, so for now she's more of a general support option. So especially if you want an easier early game experience or just want to chill early game but still be able to clear a lot of things, you probably should choose either of the two DPS characters for the fire or ice teams, or grab Gilberta and get ready for the upcoming nature DPS once they are dropped. And that is basically it for that video. I hope I could help you out. If I missed something or said something that is not true, please let me know. And then I wish you have a great day. See you guys in the next one. Always remember, stay classy, stay cool, and don't be a fool.